In this video, I'm going to talk to you about things that I had to do in order for me to achieve a 1:24 half marathon time within 9 months without having any sort of previous background in running whatsoever. And these will be in no specific order. But the first one I'm going to talk about is training. This is how I do it.
Training sometimes isn't easy. For example, today I don't want to be running. I don't want to have anything to do with running, but I know that these aren't junk miles. This is what actually counts in my opinion, and I'm not just running on tired legs and strengthening them, but I'm also strengthening my discipline and getting used to running fatigued. And I think this actually counts a lot more than what people think. I'm not saying you should do this all the time when feeling tired, but sometimes doing what you don't want is where the key is. In my opinion, this is probably the best opportunity to build yourself and really try to go to that next level. This is definitely something that have impacted my training in a positive way. Another thing, which is something I do, I go by how I feel. Therefore, I don't have a strict and structured plan, which for some people it might not work, but for me, so far it has definitely worked. In a week, I have to have my weekly kilometers. Second of all, a tempo session, a fast run at least once a week. And of course, because I want to have my weekly mileage, I also have to do at least one long run. That's usually how I do it. I don't have a strict plan to say Monday is always a long run or Wednesday is always a zone 3 run, nothing like that. So if I go out and I feel good, I'm going to take advantage of it. But as I said, these 3 things are always a must, and I always keep myself to them. Most of the time I am doing slow runs, but I'm always sticking with these 3 things when it comes to running. But of course, there are other things besides training, which is recovery and nutrition.
Number 2 is actually food. So we actually went shopping yesterday, so our stock isn't really lacking. So as you can see, we got the apples here, we got the bananas here, I've got dates, honey, we have peanut butter here, we got some protein powders here, I got my oats here. You can also see some supplements, but I get back to that in a minute. Let's open the fridge and have a look what's inside. This is kind of a mixed section, so every now and then I'll have a bit of cheese as well. From up here, it's actually Frugies section. From down here, it's my section. I've got boiled egg. I'll have all the sort of treats that are definitely not healthy. We got some coconut yogurt as well. I like to mix this with a little bit of protein powder. This is where I would store leftover apples, or whenever I open a can of chickpeas. I always have a salad every single day. Sometimes I do supplement as well. It's not like an everyday thing, I'm not gonna lie. So I have a little bit of collagen. Again, occasional. Of course, when it comes to running, I do have electrolytes. We got some vitamin C here. We got vitamin D, magnesium. We have like a mixture of stuff in here. Citrulline is pretty good. In general, this is how I would eat in a day. So for breakfast, I would have an oatmeal with maybe some dark chocolate, a little bit of honey on top, maybe some protein pudding, or just have a simple oatmeal with some honey and then some blueberries. I mix it up a little bit to keep it interesting. Then for lunch, I would have a bowl of salad with a mixture of good quality protein sources. Now that can be tofu. Sometimes I have a bit of tuna in there. Most of the times I have also legumes like chickpeas, for example, or lentils, depends on how I feel. So obviously I don't have the exact same meal every time, so I change it up as much as possible. If I want to have a snack afterwards, which I usually do, that would be yogurt with some protein powder. I would add some bananas or maybe apples, maybe a drizzle of honey or even dark chocolate. I do have a pretty intense sweet tooth. I change it up according, on how I feel and what I crave. And when it comes to dinner, it's very similar to my lunch, but if I crave the same thing, I'm gonna make the same thing. But usually my dinner is pretty similar to my lunch. And then if I want to have a snack, I might just have a protein pudding, but if I crave something else, I might just have a banana. It depends. Third important thing, in my opinion, is sleep. Now, obviously, the best sleep is the uninterrupted sleep, which sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan. Of course, we do have neighbors. Sometimes they can be a little bit noisy, but other than that, sleep has been really important for me, and that's definitely something that I had paid a lot of attention to, and I still do because I love my sleep. The second thing that has helped me with avoiding aches and pains and injuries is actually strength training and mobility exercises. Simply just acknowledging my weak areas and specifically working on them, which have actually helped me a ton. And I do include strength training at least twice a week. I try to anyway. Of course, every week is a little bit different, but twice a week generally is the number of times I actually do strength training. Now the fifth thing for me that has helped me is having a clear intention. So if my clear intention is that I want to improve my time, if I want to go faster, I'm going to adjust my training according to that. So I will adjust a few things depending on what my intention is. So if I want to have a long run the next day, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to go to bed early, and I'm gonna try to fuel my body for the next day's long run. So adjusting bits and pieces according to that intention has definitely helped me a lot as well. The sixth thing is consistency. When it comes to consistency, I think it's one of the key components to achieving your goal, whatever your goal might be. Now the seventh thing for me that has helped me a lot was learning from experienced runners. I have watched and listened to many podcasts with great runners, and I have listened to their advice. I try to apply all of their tips and tricks to see what works for me. I think it shortens the length of the process if you listen to people like that. I actually started recording this video about 2.5 weeks ago, where I also had another race. Funny enough, I managed to get a PB there, so I thought about making this video, but last Sunday, which was actually 5 days ago, I managed to improve my time. It was already a good enough time in my eyes, which was a 1:25, but on my last race, I managed to get a 1:24, so I managed to improve a little bit over a minute. Just a little background on how that actually went. It was actually really good. The first 7 kilometers were actually quite tough, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I wouldn't be able to keep that pace up for 21 kilometers, and also the last 2 kilometers were quite rough as well. I was already quite fatigued and tired by the end of it. I mean, looking at it from my perspective, I have only been running for 9 months, and within this time frame, I managed to run such a time. Obviously, it's a little bit relative, but for me, it's definitely a big achievement. After the race, I was still a little bit fatigued for at least 3 days, I'm not gonna lie, but I was definitely lacking motivation to run after the race. But on Wednesday, I did get a short run in, but today, it's Friday, I am feeling a lot better now. Yeah, that's really it. It was a good race, it was fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was a little bit of a different one, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.